Yeah, that looks good. This is the full moon, 5th of November. This is the opposition between sun and moon, and this is the high point in the cycle from an energetic point of view, from a pulse point of view. This is the boom. This this is the heartbeat. This is where it kind of happens. So where that new moon expresses a kind of blueprint or template, this talks about how that will be expressed and emerge. All right. So we have the sun on the Libra Virgo cusp. We have the moon in Aries, right? Um, yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's just start there. There's so much happening here. I don't even really want to get into it. The very interesting thing about all this, as interwoven as it is, and as many planets are making as many relationships to as many other planets as they are, the sun and moon are not doing anything in relation to each other this month. Okay, so where the new moon indicated very deep, chthonic, weird processes that may be disconnected from the conscious mind or our feeling experience, the full moon expresses something that we could think of in terms of being inextricably affected by the chart holistically. Always. That's just always how this works. But really being a sort of process in and of itself, like a kind of standalone thing. So, with that idea out of the way, I just want to jump in and we'll start with this axis and we'll kind of take it from there. We'll break things down from there. So we have the sun on the Virgo Libra cusp, and there's a couple interesting stars in this degree. Alpha Corona Borealis, the crown, and Alpha Crux, Acrux, and Alpheca, or Alpha Corona Borealis and Alpha Crux, and that's the cross and the crown. Those are the constellations of the cross and the crown. So it's a very Anglican degree, uh, very Church of England, the first degree of Libra, and these crux and corona stars, they resonate with Libra because Libra's early lessons are lessons of balance, right? Balance and service, and really the cross and the crown are you know, ostensibly in service to people. That may be contested. People could disagree with me on that. It's a very like Arthurian idea. It's very like Grail legend idea, but nonetheless, these noble ideas, have always influenced power and been important to power. So don't think that the cross and the crown is a horrible thing. I think it symbolized perfectly the service of early Virgo and the need for balance that early Libra represents. So we have first degree Libra. We have like very immature ideas of balance here. We have lessons to learn about balance, okay? And then late Virgo, we're like really totally as best poised as we'll ever be to be of service. So there's a desire here to be of service, but it needs to learn Libra's balance. And the moon in Aries across from it in the degree of Alpha Cetus. So we have some alpha stars here too. Alpha Cetus, the beast. You'll remember it hangs out just south of Pisces, under Pisces in the sky. And Aries, under Pisces and Aries. The moon here is symbolizing adventure and exploration, new steps. Those are Aries prerogatives, and it resonates with the ego. Like the moon, Aries resonates with ego. So it's a very self-driven, like a very aspirational and a very desirous combo. And the axis to the sun sets up an energy of tension and dynamic energy. And full moons are famous for that, just increased, crazy energy where you have more arrests, more incidents, worse behavior, just, more kids playing hooky. Everything increases around full moons. So this dynamism, we know the full moons are famous for that. And the architecture of the Aries Libra axis is one of I, thou, right? Or self and other. So we can see situations that reflect that emphasis and its learning curves this month. We can expect to see that. So where the new moon is directly connected to Eris and Chiron, initiating a process that may take us into darker parts of the consciousness, our own personal consciousness, also the collective consciousness. I just want to note now we have Venus opposing in that same degree, and she's making the yod that the new moon made. And we have the sun-moon axis having moved into Aries, concordant with the Mars emphasis on the new moon. One last note on moon I want to make is that, like I said, Alpha Cetus is activated, and Cetus and Pegasus, those are constellations directly below and directly above Pisces, are very activated. This month we have the moon, we have Ceres, Neptune, and Saturn, all in stars of Cetus or Pegasus. And we have Neptune on fixed star Alciat, or just Shiat, Beta Pegasus. It's 1 arc minute away at the time of this full moon from the ecliptic degree of Beta Pegasus, Shiat. And this is a star that's very famous for breakthrough and excellence. And that breakthrough and excellence comes with famous heartache and sorrow. This is what Shiad is known for. The kind of next level breakthrough that is heartbreaking. Yes, it can take a couple different manifestations that I'm not going to focus on in this video, like people who invent something but the world isn't ready for it. That often is marked by Shiad, or just difficult rites of passage, difficult passages. The ruler of the moon, we take a look at Mars as ruler of moon. Mars is in a kite to Jupiter and Saturn and opposite Uranus. So what we're seeing is that Mars continues this grand trine and has now moved really closely opposite to Uranus. We have a 0-degree relationship here. So, and this, interestingly, this degree where Mars is where the next new moon takes place. Okay, so pay attention to this degree. Mars and Uranus, they take risks. They do dangerous actions. They roll dice. They use unconventional tactics. They are not afraid of transgression. Mars Uranus is not afraid to take things too far, to light it up when other people would rather defuse. Mars also connects to Pluto here. Mars connects to Pluto by sextile. So we really have like a double kite at this time. Incredibly interwoven figure. It's a double kite with Uranus and Pluto at the heads, right? These are receiving the main energy. And Pluto and Uranus symbolize, as many of you know, change and transformation, respectively. So we can expect the unexpected, we can expect upheaval, we can expect processes, actions, and experiences that make room for new growth. We can think of this all as a turning of hard soil to make good soil, to make softer, fertile soil. And yeah, we have Venus, Yod. I mentioned now Venus is in this position the Sun was in. Venus now Yod to the wild power changes, and opposite to Eris Chiron. It's really going to increase the emphasis that the new moon held. Now Venus is in that same degree, so we have a resonance of confrontation, we have a resonance of intensity, we have a resonance of division and polarity. Remember that Venus is also in Grand Cross. And what we are confronting in this chart, what's described as being confronted, is ourselves, our connection to the world, where we're deluding ourselves in self-sabotaging ways, where the universe has wounded us. Don't think Venus is all benign and appreciative here, but think of her in Grand Cross with Pluto, Jupiter, Aries, Chiron as engaging her warrior aspect. Think of Ishtar, Inanna as the morning star, okay? Because she is, right? If this is the ascendant and we're moving around, Venus will rise before the sun. Venus is the morning star at this time. And that was a war omen. That signified Venus in her masculine, conquering, mess you up aspect, not the demure and toothless variety of Venusian archetype that we receive today. Mars in Grand Trine. Mars here with Jupiter and Saturn. Like I said, this is symbolic of power groups, especially financial, corporate, government, and this is symbolic of power groups. They're going to engage in risky behavior. Okay, and Venus in Grand Cross as the morning star, a war omen. This is going to get expanded by Jupiter, polarized by Pluto, and darkened by Aries Chiron. It's actually an amazing signature for personal growth. We'll get to that. It could be because the rulers of Sun and Moon are so completely activated, and because the whole chart is so completely interwoven. It could be very powerful and vivid expression in the world this month. But it's also a great opportunity to make powerful expressions of your own in your life. And this month favors activity. It favors that Martian process. It favors processing energy, right? Thinking about things. It's a Virgo new moon. Using critical analysis as a tool to build bridges and to find balance between our needs and mission and the needs and missions of others, right? That's the self-other dynamic. That's I, thou. So we need to find that balance. Jupiter remains active in both Grand Trines and Grand Cross. Both Grand Trine and Grand Cross. Singular. And as such, he really becomes about like higher religious philosophical themes. Although a Pluto opposition could really kind of distinctly separate Jupiter's temporal aspect of like worldly power and wealth from his spiritual aspect of insight and spiritual power. And as such, it becomes about the I-thou relationship that we have with life, right? That's that Virgo new moon opposite Pisces. We're actually dealing with reality, with the spirit, right? With the God of your understanding, if you prefer that language. So this month will likely entail surviving more upheaval and change, as everything in this chart is linked to the outer planet formation. Like literally everything is linked to the outer planet formation. Yeah. The outer planet formation itself is expressing like 0 degree and 1 degree relationships. So it's very close. It's activated. Changing structure of power is what it represents. The changing structure of power, especially financial, right? Taurus. Corporate and government, that's Capricorn. And even spiritual, or even really just like the power of reality itself, to pull the rug, to change its face, to start a new phase. Starting a new phase, folks. Everything this full moon is so powerfully interwoven. You know, it indicates intensity, it indicates dynamism, it indicates major activity in the world, and this means we can ride those waves on our inner journey. So this is a great month to manifest your personal adventure, Mars, your power, Pluto, in daring ways, Uranus, right? This is it. This is the Mars Uranus is one of the closest relationships in the chart, and Mars Pluto probably second closest, and Pluto Uranus at less than 1.5 degrees. So this intense formation really gives us a lot of springboard to do daring things, right? And as the Jupiter Saturn trine implies, this could be the expression of cautious optimism, right? Reserved growth, or as Mars opposite Uranus tends to express, it could be radical, risky, like bold revolutionary moves. So, some people who use astrology in their lives are active, engaged, involved with society, and then other people, they're not. They're kind of just like spiritual people watchers who tend to profess that there's nothing new under the sun. I'm one of those. And maybe even that life isn't as real as it seems, right? As the sages and scientists suggest. So if you're an active agent on the stage of like this geopolitical drama, get ready for action. Get ready. And if you're seeking the middle of the wheel as a vantage point to watch it all turn, get ready for a show that looks like it might test your ability to maintain any kind of noble apathy, apathia, neutrality, or a truly universal love for everyone, all beings. If you're on that path, if you're practicing in that way, attempting to reconcile your feelings with others, this month will offer you, I can predict this month will offer you the opportunity to confront, right? Here's that new moon and that Venus degree. Confront what you don't like about yourself and humanity. That's where we're going this month. So please observe the no smoking signs. Keep your head and hands inside the cart at all times and enjoy the ride.